Is there anything else? Anything else?
No, thank you.
And dismissed. You're able to go and speak with Rockwell. I assume he gives the thumbs up.
Yep.
How do you guys do any quick little chatter about the logic behind it?
It would just generally be like, that's damn smart. I might not have thought about either. And we also definitely don't want to take a nuclear warhead to the hull of the ship.
No.
Although the ship probably could withstand it, it would not do good things for the people inside the ship. I think the ship would be fine. We would not.
The people
so,
would not.
Definitely the smartest plan. He would
I
completely
specialize
agree.
in
And
getting in and out without being seen, so it's not unlikely that I would have.
yeah, that's why he deferred to you, because even if you didn't have the knowledge, you'd be like, you know how to sneak.
Mhm.
So, and then immediately be like, while we have the time now, we should be trying to learn all we can about. They seriously name their city Tom? Okay. Back when I played Dungeons and Dragons, I named cities far better than that. Anyway.
Your character plays Dungeons and Dragons?
I
Makes
used
so much
to.
sense.
He grew
what a
out of
tool.
it.
What a fucking
Yeah,
tool.
he played this
Seriously?
awful-
Seriously? Tool.
It was
This
a
is
little-
why we don't get along with him.
Yeah, I know. Seriously. What a nerd. Who plays Dungeons and
would-
Dragons?
I would say that Scott does a better job of naming these NPCs, but Private Johnson.
What? Private Johnson was such a good one.
And if he doesn't have time to name them in advance, they get unfortunate names.
No,
I love
Private
Private
Johnson was
Johnson.
intentional.
Private Johnson's my favourite.
Yeah.
From my
We have a
experience,
fling.
Okay, so anyways, did you say you had a fling with Private Johnson?
You know when we had drinks on that pub? He came after they left.
Oh, hey! Oh.
while we're landing, I imagine it takes some time, but all three of us should be monitoring the planet, seeing if we can get anything from scans, checking data going out of the planet, or more specifically the city-state. You know, we don't waste this time.
Okay, so the data you're saying coming off of the planet, there's little to no broadcast that comes off of the planet. Almost everything that they do is, because again, you're dealing with advanced technologies and whatnot, it's not like there's just random radio frequencies going out that you guys can get. Almost all of them, if they communicate amongst each other with any form of extraterrestrial communication, it's either A, going directly to a focused like a data stream to a satellite that then comes back down to the planet itself, or it's going directly over to, and this is something that you more easily hacked into without hacking into a satellite, or it's going over to the planet of Moros, where they have, details going there. So as you're approaching the planet, it's going to be very obvious that your ship is there if they have any form of scanners looking for that sort of a thing. So roll for me a... well, actually, you don't have to do this. The captain himself can tell you these things. So the captain's going to tell you that because those are the two planets that have the most people living on it, the second and third planets are going to be where the most sensors are. They're going to pick up the approach of the ship. But beyond that, the fourth planet, the gas giant, probably has satellites around that one as well. They're going to pick up the ship being seen. So that being said, defers to you, Ollie, saying, Petty Officer Third Class Rockwell, always reminding you of your position. Petty Officer Third Class Rockwell, how is it that you would like us to approach? Are we going to try to fly in from blind spots, or do you want to make our approach very obvious?
If we're landing at Tom, inside Tom, we make our landing obvious. We communicate with the city-state. Trying to sneak into a militarized city-state is the stupidest idea. What we should do is try to at least have some communication with the city-state, or try and be somewhere out nearby it. But even then, if they discover us and we're trying to be stealthy, we are going to be blown. If we are very obvious about our presence here, we will not be blown out of the sky. They will probably wait to ask questions. We are clearly not from one of the other city-states on the ground. We are wearing Alliance colors.
You're
Alliance
misunderstanding
symbols.
my question, Petty Officer Third Class Rockwell. You are obviously going to open communications with Tom, and you're going to speak with Tom directly. However,
You mean the satellites?
what of his competitors?
Hmm?
What of his competitors? What if the planets?
of them?
What if the city-states competitors? They're going to notice that we're approaching as well. So the satellites. Do you intend to fly in under radar, or do you intend to fly in quite obviously?
I think quite obviously is far more sensible.
Okay.
What would be nice is if any kind of jamming protocols could be created if we need to escape faster. But I feel like that's not the smartest way to enter the situation.
So we're going to make our approach obvious to all city-states, but we're going to land within Tom. Understood?
Yes.
All right, everybody has their orders. We're going to go straight for the planet. We're not going to do any curtailing. So, straight on in. Bring us down. And in case things go sideways, you know your position. And he looks over at the secondary seat, pilot seat.
Yeah, no, that's be where I'd be.
This is your first time since the incident a couple months ago, about 2 months ago, that you were actually sitting next to Holiday on the
I'd give him a big smile.
Oh, you give me a
And
douche
pop
about
up
it?
my thing.
Friend.
I was just like lean back, like.
And throw your interface up there,
Yeah.
taking over the computer and
Get it
everything.
going.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of the things that you notice while you're kind of going there and going about the business and whatnot is you notice based off of like a little icon that's in the top corner of where it was that you had pressed that beforehand, says that there is a administrative override lock on the button that allows you to take over his console. So you can tell
That's
again by
fine.
this little icon that more or less says you
Yeah.
cannot do
It's
that without the
disabled.
authorization. Yeah.
That's reasonable.
Okay. So
I would actually like. It's whether he would say it or not. Whether he would, he would just take the console, or break the lock. Either way.
Yep. So you leave that alone, and you guys start flying in. So as you're flying in, and you're getting as close as possible, eventually the captain suggests perhaps now, before we actually land the vessel, you should reach out and hail out to them.
Yeah, I assume that would be what I was doing at the what's-its. And I would actually ask Lena to be there with me. So maybe I would actually leave the bridge, go to another terminal to do so we can have some space before opening comms. I don't know what the Mass Effect term is.
Nope. He's opening comms is fine, but he says or opening channels. He says that you can do that here on the bridge. Like, no, you can have communications here.
I would still not. It just makes more sense to me. It just makes more sense to me. There'd be a lot of like background noise on the bridge. Although it would be more clear we're a spaceship.
Yeah.
I guess we'd open it on the bridge. I'd just be like, Wood, stand over here.
So yeah,
Tell me
he
about
does. He does reach out.
Feel
and
free to talk. Like, this isn't like I would actually say, this isn't like with the Volus. Feel free to talk. You know more of these people than me, and probably are better at getting what we want.
I know the place, not necessarily the people, but I'll do my best.
So he says he opens up the frequency, hails down to there. Eventually, you hear back. So as they send the hail down, and you hear the connection be made, he goes, "This is the SSV Stalingrad reaching out to the city-state of Tom. This is Captain Christopher Daxton speaking of the Alliance military. I'm letting you know that I'm making this contact to you on open channels. However, the business that we have here, while being official Alliance business, it does not have directly to do with your city-states. And so even though I am the commanding officer of the ship, I am actually going to defer communications away from me into one of my subordinates, because he's handling a much smaller task, one that does not directly have to do with your city-state. I repeat, this is the commanding officer, Captain Christopher Daxton of the SSV Stalingrad of the Alliance military. We are reaching out to you to let you know that we have business on the planet of 8, but we do not have business directly with your city-state. I am handing communications over to Petty Officer 3rd Class Adam Rockwell." And then you hear on the other side, Understood. The hell do you want?
Oh, great. Is it like this guy actually does sound confused?
Yeah,
Like someone
genuinely confused.
I'd look at Lena and then be like, actually, I would before this would have discussed it. Is like, with Lena's like, how upfront are we going to be? Do you feel like that these people would prefer knowing that we're basically hunting aliens?
I don't know whether we should give away our entire thing. 'Cause
Exactly.
yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, if they are here and they have contacts, we don't want anyone to let
true.
them know we're coming.
But we also want to kick up enough dust to scare them if they are here. Okay,
Yeah,
so I would.
So don't tell them that we're looking particularly for Batarians. Don't tell them that we're working for thingy. Just tell them that we're looking for maybe someone like a criminal, criminal group.
Dude, unmute. You know all that.
Hello, are you still there, Stalingrad?
Well, that would have been beforehand, but mostly, yeah. This is Adam Rockwell. We are requesting passage into your city-states as we are hunting interstellar criminal organization that we have reason to believe, has rooted itself into your planet. There will be no investigations into your affairs, into the affairs of anyone on the planet. Only those who seek to use it as cover, as a hideaway. These are criminals on the run. They're only going to cause damage to every organization on the planet.
We would like to remind you that this has nothing to do with your city-state in particular.
And what if they're not here?
If they're not here, then we will leave, and all you will have had spent is perhaps we may have bought some fuel from you.
Like, why us? Why are you here, not going to one of the other ones? This is your first time to the planet.
We have reason to believe that the interstellar criminal organization has sought refuge somewhere that's not particularly obvious. We feel it might be necessary not to go to the larger city in case they are warned. We also feel it's necessary not to go to the nuclear city-state, as it's particularly dangerous.
Yeah, they're fucking crazy, aren't they? All right. Yeah. Listen. We're willing to work with you. We never really had a problem with the Alliance before, back when we kicked your asses out of here. Listen, you can land, but it's kind of against my better judgment. So what we're gonna do is you can land, but we're gonna search your ship and make sure that you're not bringing in any form of weaponry or doing anything. Or what's that word? Nefarious.
Absolutely, we are doing nothing untowards. I'll happily pass you on after this to our requisitions officers to get loadouts of the ship and make sure that we aren't carrying anything that you would deem illegal on your planet.
This is in fact my planet, so
that's why he says it. It's like your planet.
This is in fact my planet. All right. So you're welcome to land. You can land at Tom Dock 1, and you're welcome to land. I'll meet you after we've checked your ship. I'll come out and meet you.
Thank you for your cooperation.
Yeah. What was her name?
This is rank Lena Ward. I don't remember anyone's rank.
I'm not rank.
It's a really big chart, okay? I can't find it.
She's just an E3, dude. E3.
No, I don't remember what E3 means.
Oh, Lance Corporal. Lance Corporal Lena Ward.
Yeah. Lena Ward. There we go.
This is why we don't like you.
Rockwell would know every rank. I don't know any rank.
What's your intelligence? Like 6?
Sure.
So so he's like, all right, well, I'll be meeting you soon.
I would pass along to the captain and be like, you have say on this, but they want to know more or less what's on the ship, just to make sure we're not here to sell illegal weapons to the enemy, to
they
their
can
enemy?
they can board the ship. Don't you worry about that. They're welcome to board the ship. Excuse me one second. Opens up an open frequency to the rest of the ship. All right, everybody, understand this. We are going to be landing in enemy territory here. This is enemy territory. We're going to be landing in a city-state by the name of Tom. That should give you an understanding of the kind of people that we're dealing with. They to make a deal to allow this mission to happen for the benefit of the Volus people. We are going to allow them to board and search our ship. So, 1, hide your pornos under your mattress, and 2, keep your weapon at arm's reach. Understand this, weapon at arm's reach. If there's anything nefarious going on here, you shoot to kill. Understood? Captain out. And closes the comms. And you guys bring the ship in. There's no concerns. When you guys do bring the ship in, one of the things that you notice is that your scanners go fucking crazy. The number of like weapons that are starting to lock onto the ship and everything, your ship is going crazy with all these alerts and warnings and everything, and you being the person that's in charge of this, you're sitting there and going like, beep, 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 like, oh, that's another one. There's another one. There's another one. And there's so many
Just
different
a red
signatures.
list of lines.
And there's so many different signatures coming from, like, let's say you were just typically landing on like one ship that was controlled by one like sub-military organization, right? They would all have like a similar signature because they're all done by like the same system, right? No, these are like all different. They're all like, whether it be just a whole bunch of different city-states doing it or just like hodgepodge or whatever it is, it's just going berserk and you're trying to figure it all out. So you eventually bring the ship into the land at Tom Dock 1 and you land the ship. And
The first one. That's great.
you guys are able to land the ship there. While you're there, you can actually see that around you, there's a considerable number of ships. They are not interstellar ships. There's certainly ships that can fly into space and can go interplanetary distances and have some rather basic FTL engines. So maybe you can go to, like, say, as far as Moros or something like that and back.
Yeah.
Definitely not designed for jumping through mass relays or anything, and especially the distance that it takes to get to the goddamn mass relay of the
They're commercial ships.
They're not even commercial ships, actually. What I was going to say is they're drop ships. So looking at them, these are an old model of Alliance drop ships that have very little atmospheric pressure. When they were new, they were amazing. They had like 0.6 atmospheric pressure, right? So they have very little atmospheric pressure. They have basic gravity generators inside them that more or less keep you from floating free, but you have to, it's almost like moonwalking inside them.
To hold on to the railings.
Hold on to the railings. So they're an old model of Alliance military drop ships that they've retrofitted into whatever it is that they use them for now. And there's a fuck ton of them. There are so many of them. So you have to imagine almost like you're watching Star Wars Clone Wars, like those things is like the style that they are.
That's exactly what I was thinking, yeah.
So, and of course they seal up and they have shields and they have all that stuff, kinetic barriers. So there's a whole, there's like a fuck ton of them inside this hangar. Looking throughout this hangar, you are the only spaceship that you can see on this hangar here. So you land the ship, you get, when you land the ship, the people come in, and there's actually a group of 20 people with weapons that are coming to board the ship. Your ship itself holds about 30 people in the crew, so they are almost equaling the number of people in your crew. The clothing that they wear, it's actually kind of surprising from the conversation that you had. Everybody's wearing rather uniform clothing. So it's sadly a bit of it's kind of like pieced together, like patches sewed up there or puts up. But again, they're wearing actual uniforms. It almost looked like they took old Alliance military style and kept the style, but changed the colors and changed the formation of it, changed the symbols that they're wearing. But they clearly have some sort of ranks or whatever to them. Their colors are very different from the Alliance blue and Alliance silvers. They're more of greens and browns, but again, seem to be very, they look like soldiers. But then they come walking onto the ship, and there's just the general demeanor of them. They don't act like soldiers. You know what I mean? Like, Carmine can be a dick, You know what I mean? But when an officer walks on deck, Carmine stands at perfect attention and waits for his orders and everything, right? Like Carmine knows his position and knows how to behave and knows when to shut his mouth and all that stuff. These people look like Carmine hanging out with his little brother's friends after a long night of drinking. Yeah, he's maybe a bit too relaxed with these kids.
They're kind of mercenaries.
They
I'm about to
come
say
on-
they're fucking bandits.
So
Yeah.
they come onto the ship and they start walking around, and the way they start searching things is some of them they go right over to computers, plug right in, and immediately start trying to get things. When they hit firewalls, they try to push past them, but don't even ask anybody to unlock things for them. They literally walk into people's rooms, open chamber things, and toss stuff around and look about for things. As to whether or not there's any amount of theft that happens while they're there, it's not brought to your attention, but
This is what happens when you live somewhere called Tom.
Yeah, like I imagine we three would be like standing at the open hangar, just like watching this go on, and it's just like
I make sure to carry all my important stuff with me.
Oh yeah, like
You mean all
our
your
stuff
weapons?
is with us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Of
all
course,
weapons.
yeah.
We would be
Weapons
fully.
and arms. I take my
would make
weaponry
sure
very seriously.
we're fully decked out. Like we might
Like
just be
my-
walking to have a meeting. We're fully decked out.
Yeah. My fucking Turian sniper rifle is on my back, and I've got my arms crossed. I'm just looking at all of these with the worst stink eye. Like, if looks could kill.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
got my drone.
where do you guys each stand during this? Ollie, did you say you want to be
Hangar.
right by the airlock? That's where you want to stand?
Right by the open airlock, either looking at the people trashing the room or looking at the hangar.
Okay.
You know, either way.
Do you commands the other two to do so as well, or am I going to ask them what
I
they're doing?
would have brought them there, but I wouldn't have forced them to stay. You know, I would have been like, meet here before we land,
Yep.
but they can be doing what they want.
So where would you guys want to be? Would you want to stay there at the hangar as well? Would you want to be in your own personal chambers? Lena, would you like to be over by your arms locker?
Well, there's not everything really in there apart from the Alliance sniper rifle. I would like to be somewhere really obnoxious. This is a bold move for Lena. She wants to be stood like, you know, in the hangar, like right in the fucking middle,
Right
where
in
they're
the
all
middle?
gonna walk. They're gonna have to walk around me.
Oh, so imagine they first come walking on. The first one walks up to you, and they're just like, move. So are you not going to let us search the ship?
I'm not stopping you.
And he kind of like looks at you, like looks you up and down, and like trying to take up the size of you. He stands a couple inches taller than you and certainly broader than you are. But like you are decked out in like modern day Alliance everything, and don't look intimidated in the least bit. And he's like, "Fucking bitches, man." And he goes to literally shove past you. So I'm gonna have you do, Lena, is make for me a either a strength if you want to like back, or a dexterity if you want to like try to step out of the way sort of thing.
So he falls?
Unarmed
I
check.
want to try and trip him slightly, but not too obviously.
Okay, make
Oh,
for me if you're going to intentionally try to trip him as well, then I'm going to impose a slight penalty onto that. So we're going to do a dexterity unarmed check with a -1.
We're really doing this.
Okay, you go
Right,
right
for the
ahead.
record, while this is going on, okay, I got my drone, I got Euros beside me.
No.
And
Ooh.
I'm like tapping away, so it looks like I've got things going on. I'm actually controlling Euros, and it's like tracking people with his little gun. All right. For the record, while this is going on,
So you didn't
Fine,
roll.
good stuff.
It's red around the box, but it's not snake eyes. You rolled a 1 and a 2. It's a terrible roll. So he goes to shove you, and you more or less just try to be like cute and like try to like step out of the way somewhat and like trip him, like kind of like step to the side, and like knock him over your heel that you left extended out. So he would heel of your boot, not like you're wearing heels, and knock him so he goes tripping down. Unfortunately, you end up tripping over his leg instead and kind of stumble off to the side and into the wall. It's not like you hit the ground or anything like that, but you do stumble off to the side a little bit. And as he
Oh,
walks,
I'm in the middle.
what was that?
To hit the wall, I'm in the middle. I have to stumble a long way.
Oh, so it's the airlock. Oh yeah, you're actually
Yeah.
talking about the airlock
hangar must
room,
be
not
pretty
the
big,
actual
right?
tunnel. My
Yeah.
apologies. So not to the wall. We do stumble a couple of steps to the side. So he kind of like half looks back as he's walking by, and he's like, "Fucking bitches, man," you know, repeating
wow.
himself from before. And the rest of them, the first couple that saw that happen, kind of like laugh. But the one that like gives you the most mean look is one of the women that's was up close by, kind of looks at you like I'll fuck you up as she's walking by to go check things out. So they go down below and they're searching things.
As she passes, I'm just laughing, like under my breath, looking at her, like, yeah, all right.
A lovely group.
Where are you, Carmine?
I'd probably be over with Petty Officer Rockwell initially. Someone needs to keep him safe, but once they start like searching close to my quarters, I'll probably just make sure they don't nick anything. I've got all my important things on me, but it's the principle of things, you know.
Yeah.
Don't make a mess of my room.
So you actually go follow into the room. So they do start making a mess of your room. There's, because like I said before, 4 people share the rooms. Right? Sorry, 6 people share the rooms, right? So there's a good amount of stuff inside there getting tossed about. You're there with 2 others. The other 2 that are in there are privates. And they're just kind of like sitting there and they're like really annoyed. And one of them's kind of like he keeps like looking like he's going to say something, but the other one's like, no, just don't do it. And there's 3 people, there's 3 of these mercenary looking people inside the room, kind of tossing everything everywhere. When you come walking in, you see your room's already a mess, and you kind of like take in the situation. How do you handle it?
I'm definitely not pleased. I see I've got backup, and I see one of them is like, and the other guy's trying to hold him back. Like, dude, no, it's not a good idea. I am not amused. I'm gonna like loudly like, have you found what you're looking for? Are you done making a mess of our bloody rooms?
So one of them, so they kind of like all look your way. To kind of stop what they're doing, and they look your way, and one of them clearly seems to be like, you know, there's always like a slab of meat and the 2 balls behind him. So he's clearly the slab of meat, and he comes walking. He's like, what? So he's like, I got this, kind of like look to the other 2, and he steps forward, clearly being the tough guy here, and he's like, nah, we ain't done yet. What of it?
Well, looks like we might have to send in a cleaning crew. And with that, it probably wouldn't be a smart idea to start trying to punch his face in, but I'd give him a shove. I'd give him a shove. I'd let him know I'm not happy.
Sure. Roll for me an unarmed check with your this is an unarmed skill check with your strength.
Oh dear, this is gonna go horribly.
So you give him a shove, you go, ugh, and so you hit him, and he's kind of like, oof. He's like, you fucking serious right now, little man?
Oh.
Yeah, don't mess with our stuff, man.
Who you
Be a bit
calling a
respectful.
chicken?
So he's going to shove you back as things quickly start to escalate.
Oh dear.
What is happening? We've done shopping.
I'm staying in the hangar.
We're shoving people. We're at high school. What are we doing?
My
I
keyboard.
wouldn't stand for this.
My keyboard
These guys are a
decided
bunch
this
of
won't work.
barbarians.
Oh yeah, criticizing. Look at what I did.
Hey, my keyboard decided it's not working. Okay,
Well, that's
Huh.
that's annoying.
Oh no, I guess the enemy can't roll. I guess Carmine wins the fight.
No, I got this. I got
Meat
2.
Slab rolls over his friends and they all pile down like a bloody strike with bowling.
Oh, I can't do it that way. Oh well. It's just gonna be visible for everybody. So he goes to shove you back, and unfortunately, he shoves you back, and you don't move much either. So when he's like, you know, blah blah blah, little man, he shoves you, and you don't move much at all. And so he's kind of like looking you up and down, assessing the situation. Now you want to try to convince him to back the F off. So why don't you do me a favor, and you can make me an intimidation check. This is going to be a talk check, and you can use your call, strength or charisma.
Well, strength is actually 1 higher, but yeah, I'll go for strength then. It would make more sense, like I'm trying to physically intimidate this guy into backing off.
Mm-hmm.
This'll be fun.
Yes.
Boom!
Wow, look at that. You get your 10.
I own this
Beautiful.
playground.
So more or less, so he shoved
Damn,
you.
it's fucking
So you
rude.
shoved him, he shoves you, and then you kind of like step off, and you're like, and you say what exactly?
Are you done making a bloody mess of our room now, you big fat stack of meat?
What he'll do is he'll actually, because he has to look intimidating. He comes walking another step up to you and kind of gets like face to face with you, and he's like, "I hope we see each other later, little man."
I hope so too.
And then he'll literally be like, "Come on, let's get out of here," and he'll walk out of the room like shouldering your shoulder with his. But again, it's just like kind of like and walks out of the room, taking the rest of them out. The other two are looking at you like, whoa. And they don't the two privates don't say anything. They just kind of like look at you with like respect. As like your attention turns away, they immediately start like picking up things to clean up the room. All right, so they all pass and they make their way out of the into the place and looking around and do what they do. They eventually give the thumbs up and they leave. We're going to take a break right now. When we come back, we're going to have that meeting with that gentleman that you spoke with on the comms. So it's our last break before our last. It's going to be a little less than an hour because we are already a little after noon right now on my time and 5 on your time. So we'll see y'all shortly, okay?
Yep.
I hope his name's Tom.
Thing.